Good evening, and welcome to our webinar on Get Ready for Challenging Holiday Greetings. We got some more fun stuff for you guys to do. And how about you, Miss Deb? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm happy to be here tonight. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to giving some people some helpful hints for the holidays.
Yeah, because we've all been there. All of us have fun families that have extraordinary members, and we know
Of
how
course.
difficult holiday challenges can be. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
discuss about old patterns, old baggage, forgiveness issues, and things like that. Old baggage when you approach a family gathering, guilt, depression, anger, fear, emotional baggage all comes up. And Debbie,
Sure.
who do we know better than our family who can cause us some trouble?
Oh my gosh. Yep. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just, you know that there's going to be a little bit of stress come that holiday get together.
Right. So you have at your fingertips magic oils. You also
Mm-hmm.
have intentions. Yes.
And you have your love glasses.
Love glasses. I'm big on love glasses. You can't see the haters when you got your love glasses on. So we think of love glasses as setting very clear intentions for
Mm,
how you're going to process information. And
that's
what do we
right.
recommend there, Miss Deb?
Yep, we recommend a great blend: frankincense, 5 drops, myrrh, 2 drops, and juniper berry, 3 drops. And of course, when you put that on, you're going to say, I hear only love, I see only love, and I speak only love.
Right, because if you're tuned to I'm going to hear criticism.
Oh,
My mother always criticizes my haircut. My
mm-hmm,
mother-in-law is never happy, no matter how many good things I bring her that she likes. I'm going
mm-hmm.
to hear love. I'm going to hear peace. I'm going to stay cool inside. Because if that's your focus, then you can have a good time in spite of whatever else is going on around you, right?
That's right. You can tune the rest out, you know?
And our friend Douglas Fir. Douglas
Yes, good old.
Fir is an amazing gift. It
Mm-hmm,
encourages positive family dynamics, assists those who take on other people's burdens. It helps with generational healing. It imparts respect for elders. It summons your inner wisdom and helps you
mm-hmm,
learn from the past. Not just have bad experiences, but grab the lessons from it.
mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we have experiences where people say harsh things out of anger and assign us responsibility for things we couldn't have known.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I make this statement over here about self forgiveness. And how does that go?
Right. You want to say, I forgive myself for not knowing what I didn't know before I learned it. All right. We can't beat ourselves up for not knowing. And we just have to move forward with it and accept it. And don't take the blame on that people are assigning to us. That's important.
Right, because how can you know something before you've had the experience? How
That's right.
can how can you know this wasn't a good time to make jokes about divorces because your brother's new girlfriend's recently divorced? You couldn't know because he didn't tell you. How would you know?
That's right.
I walk around to tell people, gosh, my crystal ball's broken. If you'd bothered to tell me that ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have stuck my foot in my mouth.
And I think we've all done that because we don't have crystal balls. We can't, and no matter how proactive we try to be and try to plan everything out so we don't have those things occur, they do.
Oh, yeah. But you got to forgive yourself for not knowing what you couldn't know. Let it
Woohoo.
go. Let it go.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the great oils you can use. Write these
Mm-hmm.
down for
Yep.
when you take on bad information during the holidays. Like,
Right. Like that old baggage
yeah,
that we carry around, burdening our shoulders with all that extra stuff. So serenity and balance might be really helpful for that.
yeah, and you put it right on your shoulders, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Or,
That what better place for the challenge of sugar than holiday get-togethers, right?
yes, and there's always somebody in the crowd that brings something you have to try, even if you're not doing sugar. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
coriander's your best friend. Rub that right across your pancreas and your stomach before you get there, or put some drops under your tongue before you get there, and then use it again when you get home.
Ooh, a challenge of old patterns. You know, we get in that, we used to call it the broken record because it would just go on and on and on and on and it would never change. But frankincense and wild orange, first of all, it smells great. Everyone else can benefit from it. Rub it on, put it in a roller bottle, bring it with you. If people are open, diffuse it, right? That'll
Yes,
really help. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Hmm. Assuming.
yes.
You know what they say about assuming.
Right. You can't assume just because you invited your brother and his new girlfriend that she won't have four little kids. So, unless you're really clear about how many are you coming, how many people are you bringing, juniper berry and sandalwood can prepare you for surprises.
You know, and it's funny because some people have a really hard time dealing with those kind of surprises. You know, they really do.
Right. Well, that's why I have a chip closet. And in it, we keep what we call meal expanders. So when 4 or 5 extra people show up, you got chips, you got soup, you got extra stuff. Not to
Of
worry.
course. Yep.
Then
Fault identification. Hmm.
some families, Deb, I know your family never did this, but my family would sit around and talk bad about whoever wasn't there, even before they got there. And they would report their latest human, whatever it was. And I remember thinking, how weird that they're talking about people not here. Then when people would show up, they'd talk about the other people that weren't there
Yes.
if somebody already left. Not that.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I was thinking about that myself. I love when people talk about the people that just left the room or left the house. It's like, oh my gosh, they were waiting for that chance to just attack them when they weren't there to defend themselves.
Yep.
So citrus bliss and cedarwood can certainly help with that.
Yeah. And just change the subject and
Absolutely.
to
And,
relieve.
yeah. And of course, we have judgment of ourselves and others. And sometimes we're harsher critics on ourselves, and we really beat ourselves up before, during, and after a holiday event. And we really need to take a step back and think about that before this event occurs.
So you put little Melissa under your tongue and you say your
Mm-hmm.
affirmations. And just a word about soda, because we were
Mm.
at the event this past weekend in Michigan, and when we all asked what could we bring, my sister said, just bring whatever it is you're going to drink. She goes, I can't keep track. She goes, a lot of people drink water, some people like beer, some people like soda. Everybody should just bring whatever it is they want to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that covered it. However, the soda dramatically affects everything because of the chemicals in it.
Right.
You need to understand that soda isn't good for any part of your body, and that diet soda in particular is really hard on the kidney.
Yeah.
And we have
You know,
other
the sad,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and the sad part is young children are walking around with those big 20-ounce bottles of soda.
Yes.
I mean, like 5-year-olds are drinking it already. Can you imagine the effect it's going to have on their brain and bones and growth from that young age?
Well, it bothers me because the parents are totally unaware, and they're very
Mm-hmm.
intelligent parents. It's just like the soda's right there. You go to 7-Eleven, they all want the magic Slurpees. They don't really think
Uh-huh.
about it. Think of it as a kid treat. Well,
Right.
see what you can do to hand them. If they're going to have soda, then give them a big bottle of water. See what you can do to move them into healthier beverage consumption. And diet, I'm telling you, is just so bad for kidneys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, our upcoming holiday, Thanksgiving, it's all about getting your entire dysfunctional family. Gee, we don't know anything about that, do we? Under the same roof
Yes,
and hoping the police don't get called.
that's right. Keep it down to a dull roar.
It
Okay.
is.
So, really, if you focus on feeding the fears and saying last year or 2 years ago, Uncle Louis came and he was really bezached and he said bad things to everybody and he fell with the table. I mean, whatever the bad thing was that happened, if you play that back over and over again, you draw to you those bad feelings and that vibration. You increase the possibility that something else bad can happen. I know you think
Mm-hmm.
that's silly, but it really is true. So you have to feed the positive picture. You need to feed your calmness, your celebration. This is fun. This is great. We love this.
Right. You don't want to, you're almost bringing it on if you live in anticipation of something like that happening. And we have some great new tools, Jasmine Touch and Rose Touch, our new Siberian fur. Put it on the back of your neck and on your sternum, stating, I'm happy, that I am calm and peaceful.
Right, because the calmer and more peaceful you are, the more other people will trust the atmosphere because the top vibration is what people are going to move to. So if you're moving to a happy space and you're not reminding everybody of Uncle Louis, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you really are creating good stuff.
Is this like a series of The Devil Made Me Do It or something here?
Yes, yes, I have heard that a lot the day after Thanksgiving. I was fine. It was the devil. He made me do this, okay? So here's some blends you can make up ahead of time, and you can put it on the bottom of your feet, put your socks on, put your shoes on, and it will help get ready to digest all
Mm-hmm.
that wonderful stuff. What does our blend say?
Oh, what a great blend here. Cinnamon, 2 drops. Our friend coriander, 2 drops. Cardamom, 2 drops. Digestive blend, 2 drops. And fractionated coconut oil, 10 drops. Blend that all together and rub it on those feet.
Right? And it's good for the kids too, especially if they got into the candy dish or they got into the too many chips dish or there was a dish of really good stuff, maybe roasted marshmallows, whatever, that was maybe out of the line of sight. Do the blend anyway. And
Yeah, and it's great for when they're doing that box of chocolate and they're eating from the bottom to see which one they like.
oh yes, when they push up from the bottom, I remember
Yep.
that. My one sister was famous for that.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah, my one cousin did that, so I think we can all relate to that. But what if we didn't do that? What are we going to do after we've overeaten and stuffed ourselves with all that great food? What can we do?
coriander is our buddy. It helps balance the spleen, the pancreas, the
Mm-hmm.
liver. It gives support so that digestion can take place in spite of the impossible amounts of funny things you fed it.
Mm-hmm.
Fennel over the stomach. I like fennel under my tongue. It really just sort of starts everything happy.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
And you like to digest then too, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, I do. It just does amazing things. Again, it's got all those great things in it, the fennel and everything, and it really does help you help just soothe and calm your stomach from all that extra food. Peppermint also does the same thing, or just even under your tongue if you can tolerate it.
And you want to drink plenty of warm water after you get home and the next morning. Also, take 3 Terrazyme before those big meals. It will really help you.
Yeah, digest all that stuff, right?
Yes. And Deb did some research and found some great new activities. We're going to review our old activities we've told you about in previous years. But Deb found some new stuff. Tell us about this, Miss Deb.
Yeah, I thought this was a really great idea to create a family scrapbook. Every person that's coming to your dinner party, have them bring some of their favorite pictures and use cardstock or paper, you know, when you get out your glue sticks and your stickers and everything, and everyone creates a scrapbook page using what they did, and they can write things on it. And when you're finished, you have a nice album and a reminder of the event. You can put your dates on it, and then next year, yeah, add more pages. So that's really a lot of fun.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And some people are really into they're really into scrapbooking, and this is something they do on a regular basis, though, so they can even add more, you know, show their talents while they're doing this. Another thing that I thought was really nice, write thankful letters. Every guest thinks of one person that they're especially thankful for that year, and they're going to write a letter to them and tell them why they are so special. Boy, that's like such an upbeat thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. You know, and then also, yeah, and it encourages kids to recognize that we have to be thankful, not just for getting things, but for the people in our lives. So I really like that idea.
That's great. And don't forget that when you're doing the scrapbooking, it's up to you to communicate to families ahead of time. They should print out some of their photos they've got on their phone, whether it's pets or it's events. And that can tell the story of their successes in this year. Because if you help them focus on, yes, I'm interested in Pee Wee's successes, it's interesting because kids find out it's okay to talk about that. And somebody already wrote to me and said, sometimes people drink too much. What can we do?
Well, first of all, we have to explain what that blob is in the middle, because some of these youngins don't know about that.
It's an ice pack. It's great on the back. It's an ice bag.
Yeah, it's great for making a blend also. Wild orange, peppermint, lemon, 3 drops of each. Put it in some water. Sip it quickly. You can put it on the back of your neck. And remember to breathe very deeply.
And if you got a carb hangover because you actually ate that whole loaf of bread with that great melty butter on it, coriander, and go for a 20-minute walk before breakfast. Put your oils on and force yourself to go outside and walk.
Yay for movement.
Look, Debbie found some more cool stuff that's fun to do.
Okay. I really like this idea too. First of all, you can get the kids outside. You're going to go for a hunt in your yard, get a real branch, I mean not like a huge one, that you're going to put in a vase or a pot indoors. And everybody writes down a message of gratitude, and you hang them from the branches, and you can turn them into ornaments if you're doing it for around the Christmas time. I saw it done with leaves for the turkey time. And for the young kids, they can draw or color or paint. They don't have to even use words. But again, it's recognizing what we're grateful for this year. And we want to turn all the negative things that have happened into positive thoughts at the holiday time.
Yes.
And this last idea, the present pie, it reminds me of when I was a kid and we used to go and do a string pull for candy at like a carnival.
Yes.
You get one little present for every person that's at your table, and that becomes your centerpiece. It goes in the center of your table, and you bring each string or ribbon to everyone's plate. And at any time after the dinner, everyone pulls their strings and they get their little present. Like, that's so cool.
That's fun. A little surprise. Everybody loves surprises.
Yeah.
And
well, you told me.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you're the one that taught me about surprising things like under the plates at the table and everything too. Yes.
Yeah, we like games. My family, we always played tons of games, and that's what the cousins did in the other room. And we often let the parents watch games or whatever was on TV. But there's tons of games. I mean, we had Marathon Monopoly, we had Marathon other kind Risk games, the older cousins. And then Debbie found the top games for 2017. What are the top games?
Yeah, these are part of them. Bananagrams, which the funny thing is, Sue and I and our friends, we play most of these. Jenga, which is that where you have to pull the wooden pieces out without knocking the tower down. Any kind
Yes.
of trivia games. And if you go online, there's games for every holiday. You can find Thanksgiving trivia and Hanukkah trivia and Christmas trivia, and so it really makes it a fun event for all. There's a game called LCR, which is left, center, right. It's a dice game, which is fun. And again, online, Pinterest is a great place to find a lot of these. They have a lot of holiday charade games as well. So it's just a nice group activity and hopefully a lot of fun and laughs for everybody.
Right. And for families that have had in-laws and outlaws come and go, divorces, people living together, children of the parents who are dedicated soldiers overseas, you want to provide group activities. Think of group activities because everybody's situation is different and unique, and talking is great. However, I recommend activities because while people are coloring or pasting or painting or writing out gratitude, little conversations start. They'll say, oh, I remember when grandma used to do so and so. I remember blah, blah, blah. So family stories come out, and we try to set the tone to talk about virtues.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is one of the easier ones to do. Remember, we were talking about gratitude and turkeys, and
Yes.
talked about the gratitude tree. This is great fun.
Yeah, you write down on the feathers things that you're grateful for. It's a family event, and they glue them around their turkey, and everybody reviews it. They put the year in the middle on his, clothes and things, and it's a reminder of what the family was grateful for the year. So again, it's an activity from everybody.
Right, and we have rules where we tell people there's no electronics. The
Mm-hmm.
kids that are coming to our events, they don't get to bring in the tablets and their phones and just sit and play electronics. They need to participate because conversation's very important, and where else are they going to learn? If there's
Mm-hmm.
no example of group participation, how can they learn? So we remind people no electronics, the phones are turned off or left in the car. We use the
Mm-hmm.
family tablecloth. We use go to Kmart's or Target, that fancy store, and get a
Yes.
simple white tablecloth and get
Mm-hmm.
permanent markers and have people write out greetings or wishes or intentions in different colors all over the tablecloth before you use it for dinner. And it's really kind of a great keepsake. But again, it's a
Mm-hmm.
fun activity, and even the teenagers can participate.
Mm-hmm.
And there's games. Try to have age-sensitive activities. Like one of the things we like is Phase 10. It's a simple
Yes.
card game you can get from Barnes and Noble. And what's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful about that is all ages can play, and it's not hard, is it, Deb?
Oh, not at all. And it's fun. It's quick. It's really great. Yeah. Just sitting around and doing something other than eating or criticizing other people just makes it a much more pleasurable event. And kids of all ages and adults can enjoy any of those activities.
Right. And I have a friend of ours who's written out a whole list of very things that she's appreciative for. And she was reading it to me, and she was talking about, I appreciate the architect, the person who figured out how to build our church. I appreciate the architect who built the grocery store so that they can have cooling units right where they need them. I mean, her gratitude list was really interesting because I never thought about, how
Right.
clever the architect. I admire the architecture for bridges, and I just
Of
can't
course.
imagine how they figured out how to do that, and I'm grateful. But I thought, here she is, she's grateful for buildings, and she's right, okay?
Yeah. It makes you think. It really does. That was really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, she's got firemen, policemen, all that kind of good stuff on there. I'm grateful for my mailman. I mean, he gets the mail into the mailbox, which is really cool.
And very important.
And then if you use your neroli, which is a great it's a neroli touch. Thank goodness it's diluted. Trust me, it'd be like jasmine. You would be overpowered if it wasn't diluted. It's an amazing gift to lift spirits. So if you
Mm-hmm.
start expressing gratitude, and teenagers who are so aware of so much, and let them come up with clever things like architecture or, the way curbs are designed or whatever, let it be
Mm-hmm.
from that perspective, you will be surprised how everybody looks at things differently.
That is so true. Yeah. I love it. The giggle blend. How cute.
Yeah, because the truth is, if you decide everyone's going to have a good time, and even if you don't think of yourself as a person of humor, if you're open to a good time, if you're open to laughing at yourself, if you're open, you put the oils on, and if you want to diffuse it, fine, put it on your hands, put it on your chest, and whatever happens, just find the humor. The first time somebody spills something, yell, "Oopa! The party can begin now." Just get into it. Go with the flow. There's nothing wrong with it, okay?
That's
Read
so true.
the positive, okay?
And you know what just popped into my mind? There's always, well, not always, but oftentimes there's breakages. So if you're concerned about a favorite family platter breaking, then don't use it.
Right. Just
You know?
get it framed. Don't use it. If you're afraid of it being broken, you'll break it. So
Right.
get it out. They have all these
Exactly.
great things. I was just in the dollar store the other day. They have great plastic platters. Go get some of those. They're a whole $1. Go for it.
Okay. And we need to have intentions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Clearly
need to.
clearly state what your intention is for this gathering.
Mhm.
Clearly state that good angels are in attendance, good vibrations are in attendance. Because if you clearly state it, because a lot of people don't declare their energy or their intentions, it just runs amok. Whatever you've clearly stated and you really, really want to have a good time, it
Mhm.
will get cooperation from everyone's energy.
And it works. It really does work. Just be clear about what your expectations are for the event. Whether it's your dinner or a luncheon or a brunch, just be clear about what you expect to happen.
Right. And confirm virtues in yourself and others. Confirm forgiving yourself for believing misinformation.
Hmm.
And confirm that pain can be processed. Because if you just hang on to pain, if you hang on to rejection or abandonment, then you're cheating yourself out of allowing space for new good experiences.
Hmm.
Think of it as holding on to pain, as that's taking up space where you could be expanding your capacity for joy.
Right, and be open to change because, sometimes, especially when you have elderly grandparents, they like everything to be done the same way in the same manner. And it's time to break free of that and allow new changes with the grandkids or great nieces or anything. So be open to that. And doing the new traditions, the tablecloths or games and prizes will really help you break through those changes.
Right. And frankincense, fennel, lemon with fractionated coconut oil. When
Hmm.
you are accepting peace and you're accepting virtues in yourself and others, it's amazing how easy and how relaxed things get.
Hmm.
Okay, you can manage. You got to approach the holiday season by how do you expect to feel about your virtues come January 2nd?
Hmm.
I know that sounds weird, but it's like if you could look at everything now the way you want to see it by January 2nd about how calm you were, how you resisted getting drawn into confrontation, how you were kind no matter what your mother in law had to say. Because all she's saying over and over again is, I'm scared my son is happier with you than with me. Or I'm scared that I'm not giving you the support, so I have to be criticizing. You have to
Hmm.
translate what an authority figure might be saying to you into
Mhm.
loving motivation.
That's right.
Otherwise, you have to learn to depersonalize. Those are your two choices.
Right. And you want to journal, make a journal entry of which virtues you've discovered and what can support more discovery in the new year. And I love to take time to celebrate all your little successes, even if it was eating less dessert. That's a victory. That was a goal, and you achieved it. So document it.
Yes, yes, that's a big deal, especially if you were used to eating pumpkin pie with whipped cream and apple pie and some of grandma's cheesecake. Instead, you had little bites of each. That is success.
It is. And again, we always talk about define your joy. What was really making you happy? Were you able to achieve it? What would you change the next time? Okay? But define what your own personal joy is, not everybody else's, but your own.
And you remember, you can only manage you. You can't control how others are going to react. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be positive, hoping they will pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And DDR prime, geranium, and blue tansy are amazing helpers of joy. Just put it on, baby, and enjoy the ride. I am capable of accomplishing all I set out to do. All right, this holiday, all the teenagers are going to feel good about themselves. I'm going to give them all jobs, and I'm going to tell them all thank you and how good they were. I'm going to have them play the piano for us. I'm going to have them make music selections for us. I'm going to give the teenagers something where they can feel they're contributing, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to just sit and sulk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really so great. Remember, you have the power to choose to be happy, and I love this. If you're hearing too much, if someone's criticizing, sing la 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 in your head, tune everybody else out.
Oh, yeah. And when people are going to make political statements that you don't agree with, you just go, uh-huh, and you allow others to be wrong quietly.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Yeah.
you know that the house you're going to only has fried foods and everything's dipped in chocolate, often to bring something you like. Offer to say, I just did this recipe for vegetable lasagna. Would you mind if I brought some to share? Because you see, that way you will have at least one food choice that you would like.
That's right. Right. And if you think that it's not going to be a good place for you to be, volunteer somewhere else during the times of trouble. So
Yep.
get yourself out of the kitchen if that's the congregation where things are starting to heat up. Go say, oh, I'm going to go look on the kids downstairs. Remove yourself from that situation.
Right. And sometimes you can always pretend, oh, you know what? I just got a call from work and leave the room and take your phone with you.
Mm-hmm.
Declare what you want to have happen all day long. Everything today is going to go smoothly. Everything always works out well for me. Frankincense, copaiba, sandalwood. If you make their statements of intent, you will be surprised at how well you are inspired by your own wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you ask the universe for help, you're going to get it. When you use oils, you're going to get it sooner. You have to declare it and really, really mean it.
Right, and it's so easy to get caught up in other people's unhappiness. It becomes like this, like fondue pot of sadness. So be aware of that and control where you go, control where your mind's thinking. Change the subject. That's always a way to try to break out of that bad pattern.
Yes, I always say answer a different question if somebody's going down the track of, so, how's your divorce coming? A really good diversion on that is, did you guys get tickets to see the Disney on Ice?
Mm-hmm.
To a social, general thing rather than get caught up in things that are no one else's business.
Yeah, I know in my family it was like, can you top this? Like, who can tell the worst event or the worst thing that happened? And oh my gosh, I mean, as it went on, it just escalated. So remove yourself, change the subject. Um, comment on someone coming in with a new dish. Just break out of that.
Yeah, or rush out to hang coats. Do whatever makes easier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have this posted, and I know you guys are going to come up with lots of good ideas on your own, but what will help you is if you accept the fact that you are already perfect right here, right now, and you say that over and over again and use balancing blend with jasmine and bergamot, you will have an
Mm-hmm.
amazing day no matter what else is going on with your family, with your friends, with your business associates. You make the choice of how you're going to feel. And don't forget, Deb and I showed you over and over again how to do your own party in a tube. It's called an inhaler. Make up your own special blend if you're not comfortable wearing oils in families. Like my one sister we visited over the weekend, she doesn't like oils. So I use my inhalers. My brother even said, "What do you got that smells good?" I passed him an inhaler, and she had no complaints because we
Yeah,
could
and you
sit.
were
Yeah, we
right.
were, and nobody else had to smell anything.
Right. You were being respectful of her and yet still got to take care of you. That was a great idea.
Oh yeah,
Really good.
don't find fault. Figure out with your creative minds and your creative hearts what you're going to do, because that's what will make you proud of you. Remember, you're working for January 2nd. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
be proud of the choices you made and how you help things go smoothly.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great goal to have. And hopefully we gave them some tools on how to get through the holidays tonight and be more positive and have more enjoyable experiences.
Yeah, you guys, you can handle this. Even if you're newly married and it's the first time you're going to do in-laws and outlaws, you can figure it out. One of the things we started doing a couple years ago is we have those go cups that you can get like a whole sleeve at Costco that some
Mm-hmm.
people coffee or tea. And we'd say to people who had to go to more than one house, listen, we got some go cups. Would you like to take dessert with you? Do you want to just take some turkey leftover with you? And it's disposable and it's a small container. Think
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what you can do to minimize A, what you're going to eat later, and B, what you're going to do to help out your family.
That's right. Make it easier for them as well. That's a wonderful suggestion. And I like the fact that you don't have to worry about getting it back from anybody.
Right. It's not like Tupperware. We got to put your name and
Yeah.
address. No, no, no. It's all good. You all have a good holiday. We have a whole bunch more webinars we're doing to help you out. And
Mm-hmm.
you will find them posted, or you can write to.
Can write to us at Happy Cal, HAPPYCAL 359 at gmail.com.
Yes. And we'll make
And
sure to get copies because we record everything. Sometimes it takes us a little while because of new ways of doing things. I'm still learning how to do stuff. So thank you so much. And remember, you are perfect right now. You don't have to wait till later.
okay. Thank you, Sue. Everyone enjoy. Have a happy holiday season.
Thank you, Miss Deb.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.